Hello, hello, and welcome to the Meaningful Marketer podcast. I'm Mia, and this is Grace, and we have cozy marketing chats every single week about bite sized, meaningful marketing and how we can bring it all back to connection with ourselves, with other people, because that's really what good marketing is all about. It's about how to serve people well, it's about connection, it's not just about sales. All that stuff comes, but first we have to focus on the good stuff. And so,
Yes.
that's what we talk about here. And this week, we're going to be talking about accountability. So you can actually consistently show up and do the things that you say you're going to do every single time. We've got a couple hacks that are just bite sized and they're going to help you with this that you can start now. You can start today. And it's not going to take a huge life change for you to do these things, but they're just impactful and simple, and they're going to help you make a big difference over time. I want you to think about right now, like, what's the first thing that comes to mind? What's the biggest thing that you feel like when it comes to actually doing the things that you've said you're going to do comes up in your mind, holds you back? Is it something physical that happens in your life that steals time away? Is it something mental that makes you overthink it and end up not showing up? What is it? Because first, I feel like we do need to think about that and identify that. So I would say for me, my big thing is probably perfectionism. And when it actually comes time to do the things, I overthink them. I start to get insecure, imposter syndrome. I guess you could say I just have a whole bag of insecure goodies that I carry around when it comes time to actually do something. And then a lot of the time by the end of it, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to play around with this. I'm going to think on this. I'm going to plan, and I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. And that I think is my big thing is I'm all about the planning and all of that stuff with so much when those insecurities rise up that it keeps me from the actual doing because I let those take control, which is quite ironic because I feel like with a lot of things, I'm the opposite. I'm like, I'll go in and I'll just do it. I'll do it messy, imperfect. I'm like, I just want it done. But yeah, once those insecurities rise up and that imposter syndrome and all those things, I just am like, okay, I'm just going to plan. I'm just going to make it better. And then I'm going to do it later. So what about you, Grace?
That's really good. I feel like perfectionism is definitely one for me too. I also feel like though, when I'm burnt out and my creative energy is low and I can't do my best work, then I'm not motivated to do anything.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of that for me stems from not sticking to a routine. Like I know that I can maximize my day and get my best work done if I get up early and I kind of stick to my normal plan. I end at a decent time. I get to bed on time, like all of those things. And if I'm in a season where that's a little bit helter skelter, I feel like I just end up being kind of drained and not motivated and
Mhm.
not like my most creative self. And that really impacts my work and like my mental status. And then like I'm a little bit hopeless. And so, yeah, sticking to a routine is like a big one for me.
I think that's really good because, yeah, I'm the same. It's like, I know if I get up at a certain time, I know if I do my walk, do my morning routine, all these things, I'm going to be better at work. I'm going to be better at showing up, not just at work, but, with numerous different things that I'm trying to stay consistent in. But we're talking about work today. So, yeah, like those things directly impact your work and your morning routine and all of that. So, yeah, I think that's really, really good. So, all of you out there listening, what is yours? What is the first thing that comes to mind? Don't overthink it. Just that first thing that comes to mind when you think of it and really think about it for a minute and just sit with that for a second. And when you're ready, you can pause if you want, and then you can come back and we'll dive into a couple mindset shifts that we can make here. So one thing that's actually just come to mind with Grace talking about routine, because I feel like this is where I get with my routine sometimes. Sometimes I find I'm quite bitter with routines because I have this big idea of what they need to be in my head. And then I look at the amount of time that I'm allotted in a day and I just feel ungrateful. It's like when you're budgeting and you look at you don't want to budget because you look at the amount of money you have and you're just like, ugh, it's not enough money for all the things I want. So I'm just feeling very poor, pitiful me and like ungrateful right now?
Yes,
And I think it's a lot the same with time because a lot of the time we don't want to plan ahead. We don't want to look at the routine. We don't want to stick to a routine because it's kind of like we're kind of spoiled brats sometimes without meaning to be, I think, where we're like, well, if I can't have all the time I want or do all the things I want, then I'm just not going to do any of it. And I
true.
think, whether you have that mindset or another mindset that goes along with this, I think a great way to just shift your thinking is with so many things, but just one of gratitude.
Yes.
Look at the things that you do have the time for and how thankful you are for those things, how fortunate you are to have the time for those things. Because I'm telling you right now, as someone who has worked a 9 to 5, who has worked 12-hour days, who has worked multiple jobs, who's worked from home for an employer, who's worked, as my own business, who's been unemployed at one time in my life, you are never going to feel like you have enough time
That's so true.
until you are happy with the time that you have now and you know how to manage that well. It's the same with money. It's the same with so many things. Until you can be a good caretaker of what you have now, you're not going to. So, in looking at the routines, I think that's already a big mindset shift we can have is if we're struggling with accountability because we don't have enough time to fit in all the things that we want. And so we're just kind of like not looking at that, then start thinking about, wow, I have the time to get up and do 5 minutes of journaling. Maybe you don't
Right.
have 30 minutes or an hour, but that's fine. And so that's one mindset shift we can take is just one of thankfulness if that's what you're struggling with. Now, the next thing that we can look at here, though, is how you uphold your values to yourself. And this is something I realized at one time is, so often we value integrity, we value keeping our promises. There's so many things that if it was our friend or our coworker or our family, that if we promised them we were going to do something, we wouldn't just not do it. We would be like,
So
oh, well,
true.
I promised them I would do that. Like if I tell Grace, hey, let's meet up and go on a walk at 7 in the morning, like I'm not just going to wake up and then go, oh, I'm not going to do this.
Right.
I've made a promise to her and I'm like, she's going to get up and she's going to be excited about this. Really, she might be on the other end being like, gosh, I wish she wouldn't. I hope she sleeps in and
I'll
doesn't
be
make me
dragging
get
my
upset.
feet, but I'll be there too.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my promises to Grace. I'm not just going to like bail on her. But when it comes to myself, and I've promised myself, I'm going to get up and I'm going to take a walk at 7 o'clock, or whatever. It's so easy for me to not keep those promises to myself. And so, really looking at and doing that mindset shift of, am I upholding my values to myself as well as other people? Is so
Great
important
point.
because we are going to be people that keep our promises to ourselves. We are going to have the same integrity with ourselves that we do with our customers, our community members. That is, I think, ultimately at the end of the day, that is the key to building your dream business. And like, I think a lot of the time, what holds us back is that we are upholding our values everywhere else. And we're so focused on that, but we are constantly lacking in upholding our values to ourselves.
Yeah.
And if with a business, if you don't know this, here's your time to learn about it and start incorporating it. But knowing your values, establishing those and knowing those and living by those is such an important part of your business, your social media, and then really your life in general. But if you don't have values established as a business, like do it. It's going to give you a unique edge, a unique point of
Yep.
view, a compass. It's going to be able to make you go to sleep at night, even when it's been a crappy day, because you can go, okay, I upheld my values here, here, and here, even if the situation was hard,
Yep.
even if it wasn't, didn't turn out how I wanted. And it's the same with us. Like maybe you showed up and you did that walk or that workout and it just didn't feel good, or you didn't feel like you put your best foot forward, but you did it. You upheld your values to yourself and you showed up and you did it. Maybe you showed up and you made that social media post and it just didn't get much engagement, or maybe you just didn't like how it turned out, but you upheld your values and you showed up and you did it. And at the end of the day, that's what you can go to bed feeling good about. And you're that much closer to where you want to be. So that is just a huge thing is, are you going to be someone who keeps your promises to yourself? Because if you're not, I'm probably not going to have a friendship very long with Grace if I constantly break my promises with her. I'm probably not going to have a good relationship with her. And it's going to be the same with yourself. If you are constantly breaking your promises there, you're not going to have a good relationship with yourself. And that's going to be really hard to show up for your business and on your social media if you're not
Right.
having that good relationship with yourself. And the next thing is just the importance of creating a system. And we're going to go into this a little deeper. I'm going to give you a little bit of an exercise that you can start doing. But we just want to say, if you don't have a system, if you're just going on loosey goosey, get a system. It's going to take you a little bit of extra time on the front end, but it is going to save you so much time, so much stress, and it's going to set you up for the next little exercise that we're going to give you to do.
Which
And go ahead,
we've
Grace.
learned through experience. Okay. Don't think that we have always had it together, because how long, Mia, did we spend just communicating through text for this business? It was like almost a year. It was almost our first full year that we were just kind of texting about clients. And that was our only avenue until we were like, why don't we have Slack or something to kind of keep these conversations separate? And then as soon as we did that, we were like, we could have done this 8 months ago.
And systemize is so much better. So yeah, everything, like the more you can systemize things where you have to make less decisions day to day, the better in everything,
Yeah.
whether it's changing how you communicate with your coworkers or, your vendors, whatever, whether it's how you operate your social media. But yeah, there's so many different ways you can systemize it. And so many like gurus and stuff are going to be like, my way is the only way. No, the best way is the way that you're actually going to do it ultimately, because you will, if you're doing it, you will learn along the way. And
True.
you will get better if you are consistently showing up and doing it and looking at what's worked and what's not worked. And
True.
so, really, whether that's building it for yourself, that's using a system that someone else has built that you feel like resonates with how you want to do things, get a system. And if you are looking for a system for social media, keep an eye out when we release our social media makeover class, because there might be a system in there that resonates with you. And that's a big
Yeah.
thing we're going to tell you is like, if you look, at how we're describing that and it doesn't resonate with you, don't get it. Go find something that resonates with you. Because ultimately, like, we want you to succeed, and you're going to succeed when you find a system that works for you. But ultimately, don't wait for the system to be perfect for you to start using it. That's a big thing.
Absolutely.
Like, start using it, and over time, you'll be able to go, oh, you know what? I'm going to do this a little differently. Don't let that perfectionism get in the way. Just start with something and you can make it better along the way. So the last thing is, and this is something we want you to be able to take and do, is set yourself a day, maybe 2 days a week, that you are making all your decisions. All these decisions that normally really drag you down, go ahead and plan it out. Plan your week out. This is what I'm posting when, which again is why a system's so important. This is what I'm posting and when. Do all the pre-work for it. Because if you can take the decision making out of your day to day, then really all you need to do is stick to the plan. And there is this Alex Hermosi, I think, quote that is like, F your mood, stick to the plan. So
Good.
I want you to think of that when you don't feel like doing it, because that's me. I literally just talked about those are the things I deal with, is when it gets to the time, I think of all these things and I start to overwhelm myself, and then I just end up not doing it. And so if I can create myself a system where I'm making all of those decisions ahead of time, when I get to it, I can look at myself and go, no, this isn't the time. You made a plan and you just need to do the steps. You don't need to do the strategy work or the thinking behind it. You've already made all those decisions. You just need to do the steps.
It's like being the manager of an employee, because if you're a business owner, you are your own manager, right? Like, you're doing the pre-work to set yourself up to just be able to sit down and do it and not have to make all those decisions. And so any decisions that you can cut out of your everyday workflow are going to be helpful, because there's just so many decisions that we have to make all the time about things. And, cutting down on that decision paralysis, I know for me, that's a huge thing. Like, if I have too many choices or too many like different paths I could go down, like, I'm overwhelmed. And then the first thing I want to do is pick up my phone and scroll or get up and take a break. Like, I just shut down. And so that's a great point about, save yourself the hassle, work on the decision part in advance, and then just sit down and do the thing. Then that's all you have to do.
I love how you said it's like a manager with an employee, because you could do a little mindset thing with that on like
Yeah.
every week. Think of yourself as, okay, I'm the manager and I'm setting my employee up for success this week, where they can just go and do the things, because that is, as a manager, you're strategizing and you're like laying out the outline for people to go execute. When it comes to the day-to-day doing, you don't change things. You don't overthink things. You just go do what you laid out. Even if you're like, I feel like if I had 30 minutes to go change this, brainstorm this, no, you can look at that when you have your day the next week. Because right now, what that's going to do is that's going to hold you back from doing the action. And that is where the accountability comes in, is like, a lot of the time we're not being accountable to ourselves. We're not doing the things we say we're going to do and being consistent, because we're getting in our own way and we're creating obstacles for us to hurdle over to get that task done. And then by the time we've hurdled over about half of these obstacles, we're like, oh my gosh, I'll just do it tomorrow.
Right.
Like,
Very
this
real.
just as simple as setting yourself a day before the week starts. Plan your week out. Plan the things you really want to do. What are the promises you're going to keep to yourself this week? with your social media, with whatever else in your business, with your personal calendar, even that, are going to help you be the best version you can be when you show up and log into your computer. Because doing that, making all of your decisions on that day so you can just forget how you're feeling, forget the emotions, and just follow the plan is going to be one of the best gifts you can give to yourself. And it's going to be an amazing routine. And I've already started trying to do some of this, especially with our socials. And it's helped so much. Like this week, I got up on Monday. I needed to make a video for our socials. I wasn't feeling really like confident or good about it, and Monday and Tuesday, I was really struggling to make the post that I had laid out. And literally the thing that got me through was you made a plan. You're following the plan. You don't get to think about this now. You can handle and process all of these things when it's Thursday and you're planning out the stuff for the next week. You can look at what's done well this week. You can make your tweaks. You can deal with the emotions that you're feeling about this. But right now, you just go do the thing that you
Get
said
it
you were going to
done.
do.
Yeah.
And you don't have, you've made it as easy as possible for yourself. You don't have to make any decisions. So you just go do it. And so, yeah, doing those couple things is going to just really change how you look at accountability, how you look at consistency, how you show up. And then hopefully that gives you some little actions that you can go and take right now to help you show up more for yourself. Because marketing is a lot more about your mindset and your mental health and how you're systemizing your stuff than it is about strategy. Because at the end of the day, if you're not doing those things, no amount of strategy is going to make your stuff do better. So we have to incorporate and think about these kinds of things in our marketing, in our business. So that way we can, give some attention to strategy, and then we can have the best marketing strategy we can. But if you are just putting all of your eggs into the strategy basket and you're not thinking about these mindset shifts, those impactful, simple things that you can do each day are going to change the game for you. So we're over here cheering you on. We hope this was helpful. If you have anything else to add to this that works for you, make sure to let us know in the comments. We would love to hear your routine or whatever else you have to say, and let us know if there's anything else you want to hear about. But we will talk to you next week, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Bye.
Bye, y'all.